Okay, here we go. We have a pretty awesome finals ahead of us between Reynor and Clem. Watching those two play is pretty much always amazing, so I'm excited what they have in store for us in this series. First thing we immediately notice is like the 15 hatch by Reynor. Does it mean he's gonna go like gasless? Like, what are we expecting here? Like, the thing about like these two is like they're both like build-order rotators, you know, so that's usually like the top tier players that, like, especially Maru, they have like a bunch of builds that are pretty standard, but they just rotate between them. And you see Clem do that as well. Like, a lot of times on this map, for example, he will go for like a full wall. And like a Reaper, like double barracks opening or something like that. This game, you just play standard. But then Reynor, for example, he does a early hatch build. So usually when you go early hatch build, you go gasless a lot of times. Here he's just playing standard. But yeah, he's also like kind of mixing it up a little bit, you might say. In this case, it looks like a very standard game because Reynor is taking the gas. Nobody's willing to take like any risk here. This a standard doesn't get. He is scouting with an STV as well. Lagging. I hope that's not me. Yeah, Clem confirms. Clem loves to go for the STV scout. That might be the reason why Reynor just does the 15 hatch. Because then he can just get the hatch up despite the STV being there. A lot of times what Clem does is he scouts for the hatch first and then immediately goes for the hatch block. But wow, Reynor reads him perfectly. Or does he? Oh no. Ha! Oh, that's so funny. That's kind of... what? He just randomly went there to check the hatch and now he's patrolling. So now like the drone does have to play a little bit, or the drone does have to go like merry-go-round here. And in the end, like Reynor's gonna have to expand over here, which really sucks on this map. Like expanding over here is like so far away. The Reaper is doing its thing. And the STV is blocking, like Clem hasn't checked the base yet, so he's still keeping the STV over there to presumably block the hatch, but now he's gonna check. And with that little confirmation, we're gonna send back the STV. He actually went for a double Reaper opening to like deny the base. Something we have seen him in another grand finals between him and Cyril. It's pretty fun opening. I definitely recommend this kind of opening if you want to have some fun in the game. Like the double Reaper is just kind of fun to use. Your build order, like, it's a little bit later, but you also have like more money. You don't have a like Marine to deny the overload, which kind of is annoying. But like, man, 2 Reapers are just kind of fun to work with. You go early triple CC anyways. Against Zerg, you just have like many options as a Terran. Like, it's a pretty fun matchup in that regard. Many build orders to choose from. They're all kind of accomplishing the same, but yeah, it's just nice to have variety. The Queens trying to get over there, but it's kind of tough. And we see Clem like really micromanaging like everything. Everything. This Queen taking a whole bunch of damage, but it's obviously gonna regenerate over time. So that one is not gonna go down or anything. See the Evolution Chamber. That seems to be a build that Reynor has done in the past as well. We've seen him go early armor upgrade and then into Hydralisk without banelings. Something he likes. Let's see if that's something he's gonna plan. There's the upgrade. And yeah, so far so good. Hellions are gonna try their luck, but Reynor is obviously paying attention. With the Overload Vision, he can always see the Hellions as well. So that's gonna keep him very much on top of these units. And since he's a very queen heavy player, he's gonna have more than enough queens to like push the creep in like all the directions in the world. And to be honest, expanding over here is not even that bad for the creep threat. We're gonna have a lot of creep like in all different directions like very soon, it feels like. Clem is obviously very active though, so he's gonna try his best to deny a couple of creep demos. Banshee coming in as well for some further harassment while we're already taking the third base and macroing up into standard bio play. Clem not being the mech player, obviously. Hellions always like consistently like trying to get in, trying to find some damage. But once more, Reynor's on top of it, and we do have a pretty stable early game. I think neither of them is upset. I think Clem might be upset when he figures out that he hasn't started +1 armor, but he finds out at a very good time. We do go into the tank production. This is not going to be a Withermine game, at least for now. We're going straight into tanks. Hellions and Banshees are now seriously trying. Overseer wasn't morphed until now. Queens are taking some real damage. The Zerglings are trying to get on top of the units, but that is not gonna work. At least the Transfuse are more than enough to like keep the Queens alive, and yeah, not too many losses in the end. I mean, we see it here. 1 Hellion was lost and a bunch of Zerglings, and that's it. I think that usually makes the Zerg very happy. If you're not taking any damage whatsoever, especially against like Clem, I think the Zerg is going to be pretty happy with it. And we actually see a very interesting style by Reynor. He's skipping the Banelings entirely. Something we have seen him improvise with a whole bunch. It's like the Ling Queen style with Emphasis into the Ultralist most likely. A very innovative play in this case even. While Clem is just playing the boring standard Terran. Nah, I mean he's just playing standard like you're meant to. And he's doing a very good job with it. We're now pushing out with the Marines and tanks that we've built up. We're sieging far away so that we're not too exposed. And we're just trying to start the trades over here. With constantly trading efficiently while defending the run-bys as well. The Banshees really help out. If you watched my video on the Raven, go check it out. This is why Banshees are so amazing. You can harass, you can harass, but you can also defend run-bys. Like, these Banshees are impossible for Reynor to deal with. Because Zergs don't have good anti-air. They have Queens, but the Queens can't, like, run by. Okay, Clem is really poking and he's reinforcing, and there's going to be another tank. He's going to reinforce the position. He's going to morph Hellbats, and keep in mind, there's 0 Banelings out for Reynor. So if he gets on top of this base, this could really go devastating for Reynor. But the first Fungal lands, and with that Fungal, I think he might just be happy. Well, he could wait, but I think he might be able to break this. We're getting the Adrenal Glands as well, which is amazing actually. That makes the Zerglings so much stronger. It's only 8 minutes into the game and we're already getting it. That's really amazing. But we have to start like somewhere. We have to start doing something about this position, I feel like. I feel like we need to break this. Otherwise, like, Clem is just going to be way too annoying all the time. I mean, he doesn't even have that many units over here. We can break that. I mean, Reynor obviously doesn't know, but now we go. And this is what we have to do. We defend the drop at the same time. Without Banelings, bear in mind. This is a Banelingless game. And it's working out beautifully for Reynor so far. Even catching the F2 reinforcements. The Medevacs. Did the Medevacs just go down as well? Bro, Clem lost all Medevacs over here as well. He only has 2 Medevacs and they're all very empty. That is not good. The Withermines honestly aren't amazing either against like no Banelings. Reynor cleans them up before they shoot. The Banshees with the lack of anti are being annoying. Take a look at the supply though, and we're getting Ultralist right now. We're not getting anything but Marines. Do we even have extra barracks? We do, but we haven't started the tech labs yet. So these Ultralists are definitely going to be devastating. And I feel like Reynor is like, he just smashed like Clem into the ground this game. It feels like this like innovative like style without Banes and just like testing some stuff, you know, like Reynor in a couple ladder games against me he's done that, but like the games were kind of like not great from me, so it wasn't really great testing. But like now also with the run-bys, this little style that he's been like cooking, he just made it work like beautifully here in the first map against Clem. That was fantastic. That was fantastic. Burrow usage as well. You're gonna have to scan +3 armor on the way against no upgrades from Clem. Like, Clem is dead. Getting outplayed in every single angle. Clem is just dead in the first game. Gonna have to see if he can step it up in the next game. That was pretty one-sided. Alright, we have the next game on the line of this grand finals between Clem and Reynor. And I don't think I've told you about the best thing yet. This is a grand finals where if Reynor wins the best of 3, he comes from the lower bracket. So he's gonna have to win another best of 3. So potentially we're getting this twice. Potentially we'll get twice Clem versus Reynor. And in the next session, I think they have to play on the maps that weren't played yet. So we're not gonna see them on ley lines. We're not gonna see them on Tokamak. We're gonna see them on like some more spicy maps potentially. But in order for that to happen, Reynor, the player from the lower bracket, will have to get the win on board here. Otherwise, it's just not happening. And here we see Clem opening up with what I explained during the last game. He loves the Reaper play, so we're gonna open up with 2 Barracks Reaper. This is a Clem classic, I want to say. He's one of the lonely Terrans, let's say, that is still using this opening. Like, not a lot of Terrans are using it. Korean Terrans, obviously, in particular, but I mean, besides Clem, like, the Korean Terrans, like, there is no Terran in Europe anyway, so... basically, some of the Korean Terrans, like Byan maybe, I can think of, they tend to use it, but when I think of Clem, and maybe even Maru, they use this opening quite regularly. With like the macro version. Like I see Cure, for example, doing that, but he does like a 2-base all-in. Yeah, maybe I should incorporate this more myself as well. It's another very fun opening, actually. Any opening that involves like more than 2 Reapers is usually very fun. This one, on the other hand, like requires more skill, because your Reapers can easily get surrounded, and you do need to micro a little bit. Okay, we're gonna push out. We're gonna make the command center a little bit later than normally. And in this game, Reynor went for a very early hatchery. And I can explain to you exactly why this hatch is like before he even makes a queen. He hasn't even started the queen in his main. He's like banking lava. And the reason he's doing that is very simple. So the reason why Reynor is like banking lava is because he really wants to get the hatch up for HP. He wants to get as much HP on this hatch and as early link speed as possible, so you can get the hatch up. With this opening, what you see a lot of times Terran players do is they try and like really push like they want to deny the third. But in this case, because Reynor cut the queens and he did go for the early hatch and the early link speed, he might just be able to protect his hatch, and that is gonna put him in an awesome lead. Like if he can protect this hatchery, he's gonna be in a really good position this game. This is basically not game deciding yet, but this is really gonna dictate the entire pace of this game. And we see Zergling speed very close to being done, and the queens are getting closer the closer Zergling speed is gonna finish. And Clem is gonna commit, isn't he? He's not gonna commit. He's gonna try and get away with the Reapers, but that seems to be not working out. There's too many Zerglings and Reynor gets on top of them, and this is really bad. But the Reapers manage to take out some Zerglings, but more Zerglings come, and now he's actually in a really bad position because we have like the hatch up. The hatch is a little bit hurt, but that doesn't matter. He did invest in a lot of Zerglings, and the trades in the end were like not absolutely terrible, but as you can see, it's like more than double. Or sorry, it's like nearly double. So that's obviously pretty bad for Clem, especially because he has like no vision. So like now he doesn't know if like Reynor is all-inning him. I don't think he's too scared of that. What really sucks is just that like the hatch didn't go down, and without the hatch being down, Reynor can now like really drone up. And this is gonna supposedly put him in an awesome lead this game. I mean, this start could not have been any better. The only way he's not ahead is, how I like to say, is if his opening is bad. So what does it mean? Well, everything went in his favor right now. So Reynor has like 2 ways to not be ahead in the game. Reason number 1, Terran is Imba. That can't be the case. And reason number 2, like his opening sucks. And I guess reason number 3, like he didn't play well. But he didn't get supply block. We see like he's spending his money at all times. He did get a good surround. He traded efficiently. So we can assume that everything went according to plan. And it looks amazing, doesn't it? It has to be looking amazing. He's fully saturated already on these bases. We're working on the evolution chamber again. Clem is like kind of like getting his stuff up, but really late. Everything, zero pressure on the map, no vision whatsoever. Like, this game really sucks for Clem. This is an awful start for Clem. And very smart play by Reynor. Very smart solution to like the Reaper play. I'm not sure if I've ever seen that. I feel like that's the first time I've seen it. But this is also the first time I've looked into like the build out of the Zerg like in detail that much. But I love that idea by Reynor. Like 10 out of 10 idea. It looked very close with the hatch. Like maybe Clem could have just targeted it, and then I'm not sure. But in this case, like really good idea. But also it actually worked. Pretty nice to see in that case. Okay, now that I've talked a lot about the hatch, finally we see the first moves on the map. Kind of triggers me, yeah, exactly. When you send two Metaverks across the map, like, don't send them separately. Keep them together. Never separate your Metaverks. That is not nice. And we see that the pressure is starting. Clem is just going tank again. He's not like blind countering like any Zergling style that Reynor tends to go for. Like, I figured maybe he would just do like a Hellbat push or something maybe. To like try and blind counter the Link style. Honestly, I'm not sure what's the best against like Reynor's Link style here. I haven't played against me like I haven't played against it myself too much yet, so I'm not exactly sure what's the best. I'll just assume that like yeah, an Adrex seems to be fine, but I would also just assume like a Hellion heavy Hellbat push or like something like that would be strong. Like yeah, I can totally see that. I feel like against like some Terrans that are more cheesy like myself, Reynor would get like a safety road run maybe. That could really help out against like a Hellbat push. But in this case, he's just going pure Ling. Against Clem, it doesn't feel like he needs the safety road run, and he's right. He doesn't need it. Flawless beginning. Flawless defense against the little drop as well, so... This game really can't go any better, right? This is a fantastic game. The creep is like spreading everywhere. Clem is like getting zero ground on the game. Like, it is an Adrex though, and keep in mind the Adrex can always work. Adrex is a fantastic like playstyle even at this point against Zerg. We see Maru like do it like as a standard like style with early upgrades. And yeah, it's always a good way to just come back into the game. But I feel like Reynor knows it's coming. Because it's very sus that like Clem hasn't been doing more than just these two Metavex. Like he really hasn't done anything but like sending out these two Metavex. And Reynor is like preparing a big counterattack already, which is something you love to do against like the Adrex. He's putting the Zerglings in the corner, he's making even more. We have 120 Zerglings out, we're getting the Infestors, awesome. There's the Fungal, but Clem is on top. One Fungal down. And yeah, this drop is still going to be a little bit annoying. Especially when it's like in a little corner like this, but the Queens can help out. And we see the Adrex is coming. The Adrex is coming. Here is the Adrex. Unfortunately, we don't get to see this tumor. So that one is not going to disappear. And this one isn't either. What the hell, man. It can't be any more unlucky than this. We set up over here. But at the same time, there's a million Zergling counterattacking. But this is a nice little choke point. He just needs to pull away the SCVs. And I would just have to focus on the main army. Ultralisk Dan is, or Ultralisk Cavern I should say, is on the way. Clem does get on top of the base. There's also a drop happening over here, which is annoying. But Reynor does have enough to deal with it. Even snipes a medevac. Awesome for him. The run-by is cleaned up. Clem, he still has many Marines. And if Reynor does not get a good fungal, I'm not sure if he can like take on this Marine heavy army. He does get cornered though, and there's the big fungal that he desperately needs. Fungal, however, doesn't deal as much damage. So even when there's like a huge fungal like that, a lot of time the Zerg can't capitalize on it. And the drop on the other side is not finding too much. Question is, can Reynor deal with all these Marines? And the answer, I think, is maybe no. Clem is also getting a transition into Marauders because he knows there's going to be Ultralisk very soon. So these Marines are now going to be supported by the Ultralisk. Yeah, these Marines are going to be supported by the Ultras, of course, Gabe. No, like, these Marines are going to be supported by the Marauders. And as long as he gets a heavy Marauder count, he brought the Zerg down to 3 bases. Clem should be in a decent position this game. Now, after this run-by, I wanted to say that Clem was going to be ahead. But after this run-by, I changed my mind. This run-by was fantastic for Reynor. He's now in a very good position this game. Extremely good position. Like, can't get any better than this. He basically just needs to hold on now. Like, Clem is so behind. These run-bys are even gonna put in really the work, but like, Clem is like so behind. And the thing is, like, these Ultras are really hard to deal with as soon as they get the extra armor, which they have now. And this one is gonna really dictate now the pace of this game. Like, these Ultras are just like invincible. And like, the thing is, like, Clem is like down so much in SCVs and whatever. Usually you can say, like, as long as the Terran is able to max out, they can still win. But in this case, can he really max out? He even gets funkled over, he loses everything. He might just leave the game now, especially these up against Reynor. He might just want to leave the game at this point. This early game was definitely bad. Clem made yeah, some great plays this game after a rough start. But in the end, he actually yeah, doesn't win the game. And there's actually a 2-0 for Reynor, which means part 2, I guess we're gonna call it. Another best of 3. This grand final is not over. Reynor, the player from the lower bracket, is now gonna play another best of 3 against Clem. Excited to see how that goes.